I'm Nick Farr from Hack DC and the Hackerspace Village downstairs. I wanted to let you know that the Hackers Mart is now officially open. We are taking requests for any sorts of random electronic devices that you might need, chargers, LEDs, diodes, breadboards, AVRs, things like that. We have a lot of stuff in stock, and if you've been down to the Hackerspace Village and you've seen all of our cool linemen's handsets, we have over 60 years of linemen's handsets, going everything from like magnesium alloy rotary dial sets all the way up to ISDN testing equipment in hardened briefcases and things like that. So please come check it out. We've got a lot of stuff in there that you may need, and if there's something that we don't have that you need, we are taking requests and we are going out and sourcing those, and we should be able to get you pretty much whatever you want within the day. But I have a couple of announcements before I introduce Mouse and friends. Can I say that? Can I just automatically like lower everybody else that you're dealing with? Because guys, give Mouse a round of applause. She was Hack DC's first donor. I literally had the Hack DC PayPal button up for 5 minutes. I didn't tell anybody about it. I didn't email about it. And then Mouse just somehow finds it. Like, I thought it was an error. I was like, what, did Sandy hack me? But again, I do have a couple announcements, and I'm actually ashamed that I have to read this. Please use restraint, and please don't mess with the hotel. I shouldn't have to read this one, you guys. Come on. We're all adults, or at least there should be enough adults here to keep the kids in check. All right? So if you, and that's another thing, like, you know, 99% of you are responsible, good, you know, people, and it's always the 1% that screws it up for everybody else. But, you know, that 99% still has a responsibility to, if they see the 1% doing something, to either stop it themselves or inform someone so that they can stop it. The hotel's been really, really good to hope, every hope that has gone on. Can we just give a round of applause for the hotel? Come on, and all the hard work that they're doing. So, come on, guys, please don't mess with them. I don't want to have to read this card tomorrow. And Friday, the 4th track in Zusa, well, you're all missing relationship hacking. Electronic voting, relationship hacking. At least I know everybody in this room has their priorities straight. And 3 p.m., a solar compass for the human domain. I have no idea what that could possibly mean. I'm sorry about that. Again, there's a lot of really cool stuff going on the 2nd floor pavilion. And actually, I have a special request. Is there anybody up here that has an unopened bottle of Club Mate that they would like to donate to their favorite MC? You guys suck. Okay. All right, that's all the announcements I have. I know we're running a little bit early, but are you guys ready to go? All right, without any further ado, a very important issue, e-voting. Guys, give them a big round of applause, Sandy and crew, and I'll see you guys at 3.
Hey, no hugging. Okay, so thanks everyone. This is going to describe some work that we did at the University of Pennsylvania last autumn on behalf, weirdly, of the state of Ohio, although it turns out it affects about 43 US states and random other places throughout the world that have been, you know, fortunate or unfortunate enough to have the same technology that we use here. I'm going to be talking, I'm Matt Blaze. This is Sandy Clark, also called Mouse for some reason. And, she and I are going to give the talk, but we also, this is a joint work with Adam Aviv, Eric Cronin, Gaurav Shah, and Micah Shear, who are all here, and Pavel Cerny, who turned invisible. So this is an international conference, so just forgive me for a couple minutes. Those of you who are not voters in the United States sometimes find it a little bit hard to understand just how inherently complicated US elections are compared with almost everywhere else in the world. And what I mean by complicated is that there is not a single, you know, US Department of Elections and Voting. Rather, the system that was designed really at the time of the US Constitution was set up as a highly decentralized distributed system aimed at determining the outcome of everything from national elections for president to federal elections for members of Congress to local and state elections for things like governor and sheriff and library board and school board and local judgeships and so on. We often have elections for both federal offices and state offices and local offices going on at the same time. And we vote for a higher proportion of our representatives directly than almost any other country of similar size and structure. And so what that means is that when you go into a voting booth, you're not simply checking a box for your candidate. Depending on what election it is, you may be making something like 50 decisions, some of which you may be seeing for the first time when you walk into the voting booth. And we somehow have also expected that at the end of the evening, 5 minutes after the polls close, we wonder who won. And we tend to have gotten into the habit of knowing the results of elections very, very quickly afterward. So in the United States, we have this highly decentralized system where there's no central authority running things. The local elections are run locally. The federal government sets broad standards. There's the US Constitution involved somewhere in there. And the elections themselves are really, really complex. So as hackers and as computer-oriented geeks, our first reaction to this might be, hey, maybe computers could have a role here. Maybe that could help manage this very complicated decentralized distributed system. And in fact, computers have been used in calculating the outcome of elections since pretty close to the very beginning. So I have a quick question. How many of you have seen this picture before? Does anybody, who recognizes this picture?
For a t-shirt.
Yeah, what is this picture?
Florida recount.
Florida recount. What were they recounting?
Hanging chads.
Hanging chads, a term that I thought only us people who knew punch cards back in the IBM days. So you look like what, a small? Medium? Extra large? Okay. Okay, great, so you sure get a t-shirt. Okay, this became kind of emblematic of American elections circa 2000. For those of you who are a little bit younger, you might recall we had a presidential election in the United States in 2000. A fellow by the name of Bush and a fellow by the name of Gore were running against each other to become president of the United States. The outcome of the election hinged, in the end, on a couple of precincts in Florida that were very, very close, and there were questions raised about the accuracy of the count of this punch card electromechanical ballot count system that had been put into place. And this picture, I'm not sure if the contrast is good, but this is probably familiar to a lot of you because this kind of came to be emblematic of the problem with elections in the United States. This poor man, who's kind of bug-eyed and has thick glasses and is clearly overdressed for the Florida climate, spent studying this card, trying to figure out, what does it all mean? And this picture was repeatedly on the front page of newspapers and magazines and so on, and it came to symbolize